go. It's a little grainy, but we're making do. There we go. We'll wait on some folks to come on in. Uh, is it as blurry as it is for you guys as it is for me? I'm gonna try and clean this up a little bit. There we go. There we go. Clean it up. Still a little grainy, but it's all right. I think that's pretty good. I think more than anything, it's gonna be the evening hours. I got the lights on and everything, but still a little grainy a little bit, I guess you would say. Get the hat on. I've been trying not to. I mean, I've been trying to go ahead and use a hat, because I'm a hat wearer. But I got a, I got a whole bunch of hair right now, so these aren't doing too good for me, man. But they're nice, just thick as hell. So I like it. Just a little grainy, but what's up, guys? Got six folks in here. Be sure to go ahead and comment in here, say hi, what's up, and everything before we go ahead and get on to with the subject. Go from there. This hat, man. It's a little hot out. It's 81 degrees out right now, and it's 8:17 p.m. So it's a little bit warm out. There we go. Mhm. So, I guess one of the things that I've been watching quite a bit. Well, it's not so much that I've been watching, but I think throughout the years, there's been this type of a transition, right? That it's been transition. Fucking cat, always making some noises. But there's been some stuff that's been transitioning over through the years and everything that I've noticed, and I'm sure a lot of the old school guys have noticed quite a bit too. And it's one of those things where um it it's just evolving, I guess you'd say. What I mean by that is that when I got when I got into barbecue, it was back in '07, I believe. I was stationed in Fort Riley, Kansas at that time. So we would go visit these Kansas City festivals and everything, which was only about like 2 hours away from Fort Riley. And when we would go over there, they would have competitions for the regular, the KCBS stuff and whatever. I never really paid attention to it, to be honest with you. I was just there for food, music, whatever. It's pretty awesome. And but then I started looking into these guys that were just competing there all the time, and it was pretty interesting. And then you'd see these people, they call it the walk, where they walk onto the stage for their awards. And I thought that was probably like the best thing that you can find. I mean, I thought that was pretty badass, right? That you can make some really good food, you can do all kinds of stuff, and if I'm not mistaken, all right, this is just me talking because it's been what since 2007, from 2007 all the way to 2023. That's what 17 years. I don't know, 16 years, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's 16 years. So it's been a long time, right? But me and my buddy, we used to go out there all the time, and this is just me talking again. Well, it's actually the Michelob, no Bud Light here, guys. But I'm not a heavy drinker, or I'm not a drinker to begin with, But every now and then I'll drink one of these. But I guess one of the things that laptop. I guess one of the things that I think this is just me thinking, but I believe I ended up meeting Myron Mixon at that time before he got all this famous and everything. And I say this because we used to whenever we used to go to these events, me and my buddy, we always talked about, man, that Santa Claus barbecue guy. He just keeps winning, man. I don't know how he does it, right? Met up with him, gave us a couple tips because I told him, look, man, we live in the barracks. I don't know what to do. Told us get you a small little grill right here. Go to the parking lot or to the back of the building and do whatever you need to do. The point is to just go ahead and do things. And back then, back in 2007, when we were living in the barracks, um, there was no like inside air fryer or anything like that. None of that stuff existed, man. None of it. And the barracks that we used to live in, man, they were old as hell, right? So that's what me and my buddy did, right? We ended up getting a little baggie of charcoal, putting into a small grill out in the back, and it was fine. And I again, I don't know if it was Meyer mixing or not. That the best way that I can describe it is that me and my buddy, we never gathered his name. We just called him the Santa Claus that kept winning barbecue. That's it. I mean, I was what, in 2007, I was about 18, 19, I believe, somewhere around there. Can't really remember, but over the years, right, throughout the years, you start looking into how things have progressed. And it hasn't been until lately where you don't really see a whole bunch of competition style barbecue being posted up on to YouTube. Right? You don't really get those anymore. Um, I want to say maybe 3 to 4 years back, it was all the rage, and maybe even before that, when the Barbecue Pitmaster series came out. You know, with Aaron Franklin, with Myron Mixon, with Tuffy Stone. You know, and even Big Mo Quezon joined later on, right? Back then, when it was peaking, everybody wanted to do competition style barbecue in their backyard, right? Injection, all kinds of rubs, MSG. I mean, you can name whatever you want to do, and that was the fad. If someone ended up using a certain charcoal and one, that everybody went to that direction. If someone used a certain split, that's what they ended up using. I remember the biggest popular thing was after Myron Mixon revealed that he uses green wood, green fruit wood for his barbecue with a water cooker. That was like the biggest thing. If you didn't have a water cooker, you were not anything, right, at that time. So it has transitioned quite a bit over the years, and it's just one of those things, man, where barbecue in itself is evolving into it. I want to call it a circle, right? Because barbecue started low and slow. Actually, it started low and slow in under the ground, right? You would dig a hole, you put rock or brick or whatever, banana leaves, and then you do your barbecue there. That's why we call it barbacoa. But but over the years, it's been transitioning quite a bit, and even Baby Back Maniac, hell, he even had I think it was like 3 years ago. He even had a couple of videos of him doing competition style brisket, ribs, whatever. That was all the rage. That's not the case anymore, man. Um, the everyday backyard smoker, pitmaster, or however you want to call them, they used to kind of go all out. You know, you would have like three types of injection blends. You put them in there, mix it all up, add your own thing, inject it, test, trim it the exact same way competition style, where you can get a 15-pound brisket and turn it into like a 9 or 8 pounder. And that was just the rage, man. And I don't think that's the case anymore. And I think one of the biggest reasons why is because it's just not practical, right? As a backyarder or whatever, it's just not practical. It's you waste a whole bunch of meat, number one. Well, you don't really waste it if you turn it into burgers or sausages or whatever. But number one would be you don't you trim way too much. You're competing against yourself. You're not actually going on stage, or you don't actually you like the idea of the competition style barbecue and all that stuff, but you don't actually go and compete. Because I gotta tell you, man, it's It's there's a lot more to it. Whenever you do sign up, you have to get your teams, you have to pay the money, you have to meet certain requirements whenever you go in, fire extinguisher, you have to have all your meats already in a cooler with ice, you have to have your seasonings apart, all kinds of stuff, and then you have to stay there overnight, which sometimes it's for the everyday guy, you really can't do that. So it's not really practical, but again, that was all the rage a couple years ago, man. Everybody in the barbecue scene in YouTube, that was it, man. Only experience in Colorado is what you saw on TV or YouTube. When I was a kid in the '60s, we never see real barbecue, just grilled meat and barbecue sauce was barbecue. Yeah, I mean that kind of makes sense for us down here in South Texas. Barbecue was more barbacoa, right? If you guys haven't seen the video that I have of barbacoa, it's it's pretty interesting. It's pretty awesome, man. I'll end up making another video of barbacoa here in the near future. I'll end up using the Komodo Joe in our Dutch oven, and it's gonna be pretty awesome. It's gonna utilize brisket because a lot of places, even down here in South Texas, man, they'll say that it's beef cheek, beef tongue. Sometimes it is, but you can tell right away whenever you get the texture of the meat that they end up using brisket, and that's because beef cheek and beef tongue they're pretty expensive. You buy a 15-pound brisket select, which is like $2 per pound. You're gonna make a killing selling them because I think barbacoa by the pound, I think they end up going for like $8 or $9. So it's pretty profitable if you end up using brisket. A lot of people can't tell, but the texture of it will tell you. But anyways, guys, back to what I was saying. So in the YouTube world and in general, everything was marketed towards the competition style guys. Hell, I think one of the biggest ones. Well, I mean, to be fair, that company really did uh, strive and market it that way. But what company is it? A lot of companies end up marketing their seasonings, their injections, stuff like that for competition people. The regular everyday guy, they end up buying it, saying, "Hey, if I can make it into a competition style, because you have to compete against everyone to get the most flavor out of your meats. It yeah, absolutely anything you were willing to try, mushroom seasonings, teriyaki powder, all kinds of stuff. I've seen it, man. It it's just what it's been. But again, like I said, everything has been transitioning now. We started off in low and slow, under the ground, smoking banana leaves, beef, rocks on the sides, or sometimes even just pieces of bare metal. Even before then, I think it was just banana leaves as a whole, and then just put it in there and cover it up and stuff like that. But after that, then we started transitioning into the the what's it called, the competition style. Right, with nothing wrong with that. I mean, I tried it a lot, especially when we were visiting Kansas City when I was stationed in Kansas. So that was one of the biggest things, man. But again, now it's transitioning back into the backyard type deal, and I think it's for the better. And I say this because whenever you try and do a competition style brisket, ribs, pork butt, because with the pork butt you're supposed to do the money muscle to keep it up, and then you're supposed to do pulled, and then you're supposed to do chopped as well, and it can get pretty intense. But again, I don't think that's practical for anyone. I think a lot of companies ended up profiting that way, and again, the market is going to give you what the market wants, right? I'm smoking up some ribs tomorrow, and everyone I invited asked for my old way. That's fall off the bone, not competition style. I guess just more into. I mean, yeah. Again, guys, it's I guess that really depends. For me, this is just me. For me, I guess fall off the bone. For me, it's all right, but I guess it goes for a purpose. And I say this because sometimes whenever you're slicing the ribs and you get the bone, it just comes right off. Some people really like that. I like eating it on the bone itself. That's just a preference, right? I like eating it from the bone. because I feel, this is just me again. I feel that whenever you get the bone and then you turn it and then it just falls off, the entire presentation goes away with it. So nothing, nothing wrong with eating it fall off the bone. That's fantastic. I enjoy it. As a matter of fact, I really enjoy that. But I think for me, it's more than anything just the presentation. For competition style, that stuff gets a little tough because if memory serves me right, I was informed that in order for it to have a tug and leave the clean mark in there, it's somewhere between 185 degrees to 195. Damn, cats are fighting. But between 185 185, anything over that, then it's going to, these cats, man, they're always fighting. I don't know why they're always fighting, man. I don't even know that cat. But I feel like the competition style barbecue is dead. That's just how I view it, and I don't think it's coming back up. To be honest with you, man, it's not practical. It takes hours. You end up not wasting, but you end up having to spend a whole bunch of money 2 to 3 times a week in order to kind of perfect it into the competition style uh, that you're wanting, especially because every person that I've ever met, right, whichever person, it doesn't matter. You talk about competition style barbecue, every single person is gonna want to add their own little pizzazz to it, right? Because nobody wants to be the same way as the other person. So that's why they'll end up mixing injections. That's why they'll end up throwing the jalapeno powder. They'll end up throwing mushroom powder, Worcestershire seasonings, all kinds of crazy stuff just in order to get something a little bit more above that'll separate you from the rest. And it's just not it's just not something that you can keep up consistently, man. After a while, you end up getting tired of it, and then at the end of the day, at least for me, because that was part of me as well. At the end of the day, you throw a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and you enjoy it even more than all these complex seasonings, right? What's up, Al? What's up? Yes, I can barbecue. But again, guys, it's one of those things where it's just not practical to go ahead and stay on. And it's not to say that you can't enjoy it. You can obviously enjoy it like hell. It's pretty awesome, but you just can't stay with it constantly. You can try and do all kinds of stuff and everything to it, but it's never going to be perfect, right? And so that's why I think that the competition barbecue style, is just fading away, if not already dead. I don't think I've seen a YouTube video where people are trying to go ahead and keep a competition style ribs, brisket, pork butt in the last 2, maybe 3 years. I don't think I've seen that in quite some time, and it's not supposed to. I won't say it's not supposed to, because everybody has their own flavor to it, but it's not supposed to stress you out to go ahead and create, right? Regular barbecue style, you throw your favorite rub that you want, you put it in, you test out what's your going to be your preference. Do you want to do 225 degrees, 250, 275? Hell, even hot and fast. That's another thing. Hot and fast was a huge thing when Myron Mixon used to go ahead and promote it quite a bit because of his water cooker, and I think he's able to go ahead and get away with it with his water cooker. Some people, and I've seen, I don't know if you guys seen a lot of the YouTube videos on there, but a lot of people have experimented with the hot and fast method, and they end up burning it. They have a very bad experience, but again, it's not something for everyone, right? But what's up, Randy? Don, I always see you in the comment section, and I definitely appreciate it. Tocayo, ¿qué onda? But again, guys, if you're just tuning in, oh, by the way, Michelob, I rarely drink, if ever. I'm sorry that it's grainy. I try to get the GoPro to work. Check it out. I tried to get the GoPro to work, but it's even more grainier, right? Than the regular webcam. But if you're just tuning in, I was talking about how I was stationed in Fort Riley, Kansas, right back in 2007. I think that's when I finally went to Fort Riley, Kansas, and we used to travel about 2 hours east to Kansas City, Missouri. And that's where the mecca of all barbecue stuff. I didn't know anything about barbecue. I'll be honest with you. I knew about carne asada. I really knew about that. That's not a problem. What I didn't know was the the barbecue. And at that time, I didn't really have a good perspective on barbecue. Right? I just thought, man, these guys are just doing low and slow. We used to do it in the hole, on the ground and stuff like that. But obviously, we we've we've moved on from digging a hole. Well, not always, because here in the Brownsville area they still do the hole. It's just in concrete and everything. But I didn't really know anything about barbecue at that time. But whenever we went to those festivals, they had concerts. They had all kinds of different types of food there. And then that's when I finally ended up trying American barbecue, I guess you would say. And I got hooked, man. I got hooked. And again, guys, if you're just joining in, I was talking also about how I believe I ended up meeting Myron Mixon several times out there, because I didn't really know him by name or anything like that. But me and my buddy, we did know him by saying, that's the Santa Claus barbecue guy that always won, right? We were what, 18, 19 years old at the time, right? So, and he gave me a couple of tips and everything, because we lived in the barracks, and he told us to go ahead and get a small little grill like this big, get you some charcoal, do it out in the parking lot or out in the back of the building of the barracks, and at least do something. Air fryers, portable little ovens, they didn't really exist. The only portable little oven that existed was the set it and forget it. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was pretty awesome. I had one of those. It was that was pretty awesome. I had the little rotisserie. It was pretty awesome. I really, really liked it. I don't know if you guys remember that. But it was going on, Quint, man. But bro, these mosquitoes, man. I swear I seen a mosquito out here that just picked up a whole horse out here, man. Picked up the horse and just ran with it, man. Mosquitoes ain't mean business. but but anyways, guys, so back then, that's what the rage was. And then once I finally came back from Iraq, right, because I was in Iraq for 15 months, from early or midish 08 to late 09, almost December, if memory serves me right. And I was stop lost in Iraq, actually. My contract had ended about 2 to 3 months after we were boots on ground in Iraq, right? But I got stop loss. Back then, stop loss meant that it didn't matter that your contract was up. You had to stay there and serve your entire tour, right? Plus an additional 2 to 3 months afterwards to transition back to civilian. I can't remember, something like that. But my contract was forcibly extended while I was in Iraq. And these flies, man. Not the flies, but these mosquitoes. But anyways, guys, um, I think I swallowed a damn mosquito, man. Hopefully, I don't die. But anyways, guys, is it grainy for you guys as it is for me? Damn. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, guys. So after we came back from Iraq, and after I finally came back to the civilian life, one of the shows that I got hooked with was the Barbecue Pitmasters, right? Aaron Franklin, Myron Mixon, Tuffy Stone, even Mo Cason came on later on, and you get hooked, man. You get hooked on it, and it's one of those things where you're just like, man, I want to see how these guys create a certain type of meat or something that they never worked on before. It looks pretty awesome. And no, it's not a GoPro. I mean, I had a GoPro right over here, but this one was way worse. So I ended up just turning it off completely. So, anyways, guys, you get hooked with those with that show that the barbecue pitmaster ones. And then I don't know if you guys knew this, but there was another one aside from barbecue pitmasters after that one ended, where and it was pretty recent too, not too recent. I think it ended in 2016 or 17. But basically, um, it was Myron Mixon, Big Mo, Stumps, and a couple other guys too. They ended up traveling around the entire United States competing against each other, right? And then whoever won the most amount of prizes, prize money at the end of the season, then they won something. I can't remember what it was, but it was pretty awesome. And I think that one ended back in 2016 or 17, and it's on Amazon Prime if you guys haven't checked it out. But yeah, let me go ahead and go through all this stuff. It's let's see, it's Al Real Meat Stick. Happy Memorial Day. I actually, I actually got a call a couple of my buddies' family on uh, on Memorial Day. Um, they unfortunately their life ended up a little too soon. When we were downrange, and some that battled that fight after we came back, that they lost the fight. So it's something that I do every year. I just call their family or message their family on Facebook and just say that wish they were here still, but that's not always the case. But anyways, guys, back to what I was saying. So over the past 3 years or so, the barbecue competition style of barbecue that people do in their backyards, it has kind of faded away. One of the big reasons would be Mad Scientist Barbecue, Chud's Barbecue. Who else? I can't say, I cannot say Slap Your Daddy, because he still promotes the competition style, right? So he still promotes it. So I can't really say that. Baby Back Maniac, he used to promote quite a bit. After he got the Lone Star Grills, he would do a whole bunch of competition style brisket, ribs, whatever. So I can't really say that, but only a few still started to promote the backyard style, and it's taken off. It's taken off completely. Sorry, guys. I think I ended up swelling. Damn mosquito, bro. I'm telling you, man. These things are huge. They're savages. Smoking Joe Barbecue. Thank you for that. Yes, I can barbecue. Smoking Joe Barbecue. I think he was one of the original guys who promoted the backyard style barbecue, including the sausage making as well. I learned a lot from him. And I always try and at least attend his chats every Wednesday, every hump day. I always try. He hasn't been as active lately, though. I think it's because of his food truck business. But it's Smoking Joe Barbecue. Not a lot of people give him a lot of credit, but I think he ended up starting it with his Yoder, if memory serves me right. Not a whole lot of people knew about Yoders until he started really promoting them, and he started doing a whole bunch of videos of backyard style, but never really done like an actual competition style. I don't think he ever did anything like that. So he was one of the OGs that started transitioning from the competition style to the backyard style barbecue. So he's Smoky Ribs, bro. That old man, I gotta tell you, that old man, he's pretty awesome. I really enjoy his videos. I got my Lone Star grills because of his videos, actually, but he got the 36-inch and I got the 40-inch because 36-inch was just a little too narrow for me. But a lot of people started transitioning now to the into the backyard style, and you still have a couple people that prefer the competition style. A couple of the guys that I know, that's how they want their briskets done, their ribs done, their pork butt done. And whenever we talk barbecue, they usually always stress out about it. They tell me, bro, last week I injected this pork butt with apple juice, a little bit of vinegar to get a little bit of that tang. I injected it with some butter. I did all these blends for the rub to get it sweet and spicy, and it still didn't hit right. And I'm like, bro, man, you're just stressing the hell out of yourself. Are you gonna compete? No, dude, I'm not. You're stressing yourself out for something that you're not even gonna attend. if you like that, if you like that style, fantastic. By all means, go ahead and do whatever you want to do. Fantastic. But if you're gonna be stressed out about it, then maybe it's time to go back to what actually fueled your passion to come into it, right? And I'm guilty of this too, man. I've tried to build like these complex rubs that's gonna stand out against everyone, and at the end of the day, a little salt and pepper goes a whole long ways, man. And it's and it's so you go back to your actual roots to where it started, and you probably end up enjoying it even more than what it was before. But yeah, Smokey Ribs Barbecue, he was one of the OGs. I remember watching his videos way back, man. I ended up watching his video. Well, I think the first video that I ended up watching from him was the LSG, because he was the first YouTuber to bust out the LSG, right? The Lone Star Grills. He was the very first one. Which reminds me, guys, I might get a whole bunch of flack. I might get a whole bunch of hate right now. But even me buying the Lone Star Grills, and I've been saying it for I think 6 months after I bought my Lone Star Grills, I think. But tuning plates, baffles, all kinds of stuff is 100% unnecessary if your smoker is not built right. I know I'm gonna get some hate with this, but that's just the truth. I bought my Lone Star Grills because it was marketed as even cooking from left to right? Oh, in my case, it's left to right, but whatever. It was marketed that way, and it got a lot of people. Right, got a whole bunch of people. But if you watch my very first brisket video, very first one, it was a Wagyu brisket, right? I wanted to make it special. If you watch my very first brisket video, you'll see that even after what was it, like 5-6 hours, I had no bark, absolutely none. It wasn't until I reached about 185 or 190 that I finally started developing bark. And once it was done, it still didn't have the bark that I have now, right? And it's so I started doing a whole bunch of reading. I talked to a whole bunch of pit masters and everything, pit builders more than anything. And they said the same thing that I was thinking. Smoke from the firebox comes up over the cooking chamber, goes over, and then comes down and out the stack. That's why the stack is in the middle, not up high, not up low, in the middle. So that the smoke can go up, over, and then it'll come down in this way. That way, the smoke that's up top can go ahead and tumble its way all the way to the front, come down and out, right? Whenever you have the tuning plates, it's all here. So the smoke comes in here, comes here just a little bit more, a whole bunch more, and then it comes out. Some of it just goes in and it comes out. That doesn't make any sense. So the cooking that you're getting on this side is only it's only from the heat from the tuning plates. That's it. It's not getting the actual smoke of it. It's not getting the actual smoke of it. So again, it's I get a lot of flack about it. If you look at some of the YouTube videos that I have with the tuning plates and everything, I get a whole bunch of hate where people are like, "Nah, bro, you're not doing it right. You're supposed to speak." No, dude, you're missing the point. It's not about the heat. It's the actual smoke hitting the meat and cooking it, rather than the heat coming off the tuning plates that's cooking it, right? So, oh, Danny Arevia is here. Yeah, he got his chef template. It's pretty awesome. All right, let me go ahead and take a look, see some of these comments. Let's talk some barbecue. We're talking barbecue, man. Smoking Joe, yeah, he was on this week. Smoking ribs, pepper and Lowry seasoned salt. Hell yeah. If you guys are on my Instagram, I ended up posting up a dry aged brisket using just pepper and Lowry seasoning. I got to tell you guys, man, dry age isn't for me. It wasted a whole bunch of meat for absolutely zero gain. Matter of fact, I prefer the regular prime brisket, even regular choice or select, over the dry age. It didn't wow me, didn't give me anything. It was not wow. A lot of people that are fanatics of dry age, they really enjoy it or whatever, but it's just not for me, man. But anyways, back to the topic. So once I removed the tuning plates off of the smoker, once I removed them completely, then I finally started getting the actual airflow. Because if you look at some of the videos from an LSG, right, from the Lone Star Grills, you pop open the lid, you're gonna get a whole bunch of smoke. Perfect. Okay, that's what we wanted. But then you end up getting all the smoke on this side. None of it starts coming from this side, only this side. And that's because the tuning plates are blocking all the airflow, right? And then finally comes out over here. So now, whenever I open up the lid, you get a whole bunch of smoke, okay? But everything, you can see the actual smoke going this way, right? And then tumbling, do whatever it's thing. So it's just one of those things where I get a whole bunch of flack, but I'm just being honest. So competition style barbecue is kind of that way, where you have to do certain things. But to be fair, if you're doing a whole bunch of chicken, you want the tuning plates on this side, chicken over here, brisket on this side. I can understand that, no problem. Backyard, I get that a lot of people want side to side, perfect, perfect. I mean, perfect temperatures. I see a lot of on the groups where they're just complaining, man, my right side is 15 degrees hotter than my left side. How can I fix it? No, you got to know. Nah. If the pit is built correct, just create a good coal bed, put your split in there, and let it do its thing, man. I don't really have anything more to say on that other than you're the pit master. That's why you're the pit master, because you're supposed to know how your cooker works and work with it, not force it to do something that it doesn't want to do or designed to do, right? And just lately, Mad Scientist Barbecue came out with that video about the baffle and the tuning plates being unnecessary. And I've been saying this for quite some time, and then finally people are finally agreeing with me. So take it for what it's worth, guys. But for me, I think it's a really good thing that we're transitioning over to the regular backyard barbecue deal. And a lot of companies ended up having to adjust with that. So you see a lot less rubs and injections and everything being marketed, but now you see more thermometers, controllers. You see that more than you see all these complex rubs and injections. You see those a lot less, right? And and that's just what it is, man. It's competition style is great from time to time, but traditional is just something you want to eat on a regular. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What's your name? Oh, wet ass pork. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's traditional style. There's just nothing to it, man. You, at least for me, depending on what your stick burner is, or even if you have a pellet smoker or a Kamado Joe like I do. For me, in a stick burner, I have a seat right next to the fire chamber, the fire door. Throw my log in there. I chill for a bit, make sure that the mosquitoes aren't killing me, and then you just do whatever you need to do. If some splits they're incredibly dry, and you'll be able to go ahead and tell, right? So sometimes I end up using those towards the end so that I can get my temperature to spike up a bit and control it that way. But that's why whenever you refer someone to a pitmaster, more than anything, it's because they they already know how all their stuff works and how to adjust according to wood size or vent settings or whatever. So that's what it is, guys. Um, any questions or opinions? Let me know, guys, and we'll go from there. But I just wanted to go ahead and say that it's one of those things that I'm pretty sure that a lot of you guys are noticing a lot lately, and it's that competition style barbecue isn't there anymore. It's not promoted as much anymore. The complexity of the rubs aren't there anymore. The all these different injections, they're not really being promoted anymore. Instead of that, the companies are now promoting all the stuff that a home backyard style barbecuer would do, which are the temperatures, which are simple rubs, something like SPG or whatever. Almost no injections. I don't think I've seen any injections being promoted. And then on top of that, trimming. I think that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people are really moving forward to a perfect trim, so that every slice counts, right? And I think a lot of the backyard barbecuers, they've noticed that whenever you do like a square shape or a stock style shape brisket, it doesn't really come out well. And I say this because some of the edges, they come out a little too crispy, and what it does is that whenever that thins out, the thicker part ends up getting overcooked too. Not just the thin piece that that burns out, but the thicker part attached to it that gets overcooked quite a bit too. So whenever people are slicing, they'll end up getting a whole bunch of shreds or maybe a very crispy bark, not bark, but like a burnt, charred outer edge. And that's just how sometimes it is, guys. But that's what I believe. That's whenever I do salt, pepper, and garlic, people always ask what rub I used and are always surprised. That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, it really depends on people. People really like different complex rubs, but at least to me, sometimes that does away with what you're actually doing with the smoke. Um, one of the I'll call it a fad. I don't care if people. I mean, obviously I do care, but I think a lot of people are gonna give me some flack about this. But I'm not a fan of the charcoal rub, man. I'm really not. I don't like that fake bark. I just don't like it. And it's not to say that the rub isn't flavorful. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it has a whole great bunch of flavor. But whenever people end up posting, hey, look at my amazing bark, you really pour that in there. Congrats. Same thing with sugars, but sometimes sugars do have a purpose, especially whenever you do a sugar cookie on a brisket. So sometimes that's pretty good. But the charcoal version, it's it's that's not one of those things where I'm gonna go ahead and promote it, because I'm just not a fan of it. Sure, people might like it, the flavor might be fantastic, but it's just not for me, man. I used the charcoal rub once and donated it to a friend. I mean, to each their own, bro. If you like it, fantastic. It's amazing, but um, I end up seeing it a lot on the Facebook group pages where you have bark even darker than say an offset stick burner like the one that I have, way darker. And they go, look what I did on a pellet grill, and then people ask, hey, what rub? Oh, I use a hardcore carnivore black. Can you really say that it's a bark? I don't know. Maybe it has some stuff in there. Maybe the charcoal makes the bark get better. I don't know. So I guess take it for what it's worth, guys. But just wanted to do a quick live, see how everything goes. Oh, also, guys, before I forget, if you guys haven't checked out this Inkbird video, it's pretty awesome. Inkbird ended up sending this over to us. It has 6 probes. It has a magnetic back. It's pretty legit. Um, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be working with Inkbird in the near future, though. I mean, I like their products and everything, but they can be a little bit pushy to go ahead and make things go live, especially whenever you have a hard work week and it's get pressured over to you. So I really appreciate this. I really enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm not giving any false stuff in here, but it's they're kind of pushy. I really don't like that. So it is what it is. Anyways, guys, if you guys have any comments, concerns, or anything like that, be sure to go ahead and hit and let me know. Hit that like and subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later, guys.